And I think we always have that kind of mentality because we're always wanting to change. So that's the question I wanted to ask. So like, for example, what is change? First of change, the idea of change, right? Because I think that's what this thing was supposed to be about. What does change mean to you? How have you experienced it in your life recently? And like,
Mm,
how are you dealing with that?
um, it's something you can't avoid,
Mm,
but you can sort of try to not let it happen yet,
what does that
even
mean?
though that's like the change is always happening, but maybe you're holding on to a way of life, a lifestyle,
Mm,
and so you're trying to put that change which is happening on hold,
mm.
and you're making the change uh worse than what you
Because you're stopping
fear
it.
it
Yep,
would
yep,
be.
yep, yep.
Instead of just like you're a human being, you need to be, and change is change, it needs to happen,
Mm,
but we come up with like expectations and like routines that we just want to repeat and repeat because maybe they're good, maybe they're
mm,
meaningful, maybe they're just comfortable, you're
mm,
used to it. And maybe it's staying at a job too long and you know you need to leave, it doesn't matter where, you just need to go somewhere else,
mm.
see different people, uh, take a walk to work instead of taking the same 6 stops on the train. And you just put that off and put it off and put it off, and then you end up leaving when you're 50,
Mm,
and you do all the things that you should have done when you were 20, when you had the energy,
mm-hmm.
the
But
risk
now you're
taking
doing it at
ability,
50, so it's like
thinking that you have,
the time and the energy.
yeah, or the
Yeah.
just like the ethical, like, yeah, let's do it. I'm malleable. Like
Mm,
you're 50,
mm.
you need to set up like your life before you turn 50.
Absolutely.
Once you're like 50, you want to just like, enjoy it, but you don't really want to take risks to the same degree because, gusts of wind, you're on the ground, bro.
And the
Um,
children and like grandchildren,
but like
that's
right now, if you don't have a healthy relationship with change, then I think you can get really old really quickly and not even realize it.
mm. There's a quote by I think the Buddha, and it's um like only like change is not painful,
Mm,
resistance to change is painful.
yeah.
It's like we try to
Buddha put it much more nicely and with far fewer words.
yeah, that
But
Buddha,
just
he has a
say,
tendency to do that. Yeah.
uh,
But like it's true. It's like change is not painful. It's the resistance to change that is painful, and that
mm,
people we struggle with that resistance because we always try to stop the change because we think what we know now. And this is the crazy thing. I mean, realizing right, it's all about information. We think what we know now will serve us in the future, so we make decisions with that now. And so when a change comes in, or someone throws you a curveball, you're like, no, 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 that's not what I know. So like that can't be true. But is what we know, what we don't know, that's more valuable to us than what we do know.
yeah.
Because what we do know is has left us broke. So what brokies or whatever. What we don't know is what will take us from being where we are now into where we want to be. And so, like you said, like you have to have a good relationship with change, even if maybe this is like an idea and like doing it in practice is very hard,
Mm.
But like even if you struggle, having a better relationship with change really does help you kind of like, I guess, like welcome it and look out for it and like really like say, okay, even though I have no idea what this is happening, I trust the process. When do you think was the last time that you had that kind of thought process? You're like, I have no idea how this is gonna turn out, but I kind of trust it.
Um, like my previous workplace,
Mm,
I just looked around them, and I just got a sense that the energy at this place just wasn't for me.
mm,
It's right for someone, just not me.
mm,
A little too feminine without the counterbalance.
mm,
I don't want to grow here. I don't look forward to coming here.
mm,
Like I still, um, still appreciated it. I felt lucky to get to go there, work and eat and all of that. But I wasn't scared of like leaving my keys on a hook and walking and not knowing how to pay the rent or what the next thing was going to happen. And that's never happened before. So one night, I just decided, okay, it's going to be tomorrow or the day after. Like, you know, you do it today or tomorrow, the day after. And I come in the morning after. I'm just like, okay, today's the day. Like, I feel it. My brain is now finding like a solution, you know? I have the day, work goes okay. And then at the end, once everything's said and done, I just leave my keys on the hook. I say goodnight to everyone. I don't say goodbye. I say goodnight. And that was it. Like, my phone was off. Like, I wanted to pay the price, even if it's 5 years from now. Who knows? Consequences. But they'll be okay. And I was okay. Like, I got a good night's sleep. I hadn't done that in a while, and it's not like I slept with a guilty conscience. Otherwise, I wouldn't have slept well, I don't think. And I've not slept poorly since. I since found work, and yeah, bills aren't a problem, but I have a bit more. I'm tapping into that flexibility a bit more, where do I really want to spend my time? And 48 hours of it a week. Like, if it's not here, I'm way more willing to embrace change and taking risks to make sure that I don't spend 48 hours in this place like unhappy. So like, I made that decision. It was a big risk, leaving without having another place secured, not having the next home paid for or even found at that point, and not knowing if there was like someone wanted to take me on straight away, or somewhere close enough, or that I felt that I could make the journey to and from. But I did it. Those were all questions that I had to answer when I was like hungry, when I had nothing. I was much better situated to like fix those problems when you have no choice but to fix it. When you're comfortable, when you're not thinking about what's scary or where I may be if I don't get things done today. Yeah, it was just comfortable. Nothing was changing, and that's not good, because if you're on this false, like this illusion that nothing is changing, like I love everything I do every day. There's no difficulties. When the change comes, you're like unprepared because you've not exposed yourself to scary things, difficult things.
Absolutely.
So you're using the same brain, but you're in different circumstances, and you need to be able to think under pressure. You need to know what it's like to be hungry and to have this fear. Like 2 weeks from now, I don't know where I'm gonna live, let alone what's gonna happen with my partner. But that kind of hunger, like, I have X amount of money today, and I can't even spend that.
That's a lovely type of change.
I've eaten in my whole life 3 packs of noodles, and that's all been within the space of like the past week. I hated the idea of eating noodles before because they were very cheap, and it was like a uni student kind of thing. I think I tried some one time. I was just like weirded out by it. I don't think I made it correctly. It was just like,
how'd you mess up noodles? That's another question.
I don't know, man. So I just wasn't gonna have it, but I've had it since
many a times,
and I knew what I was eating was definitely not good for me. But I ate it, and I was like, you know what? This kind of, like, the poorness in me was like, this kind of tastes like it looks and tastes like pasta, but it's not
No, it's not. It's not at
because I
all.
bought it on a shelf.
And then also, it's like you can crack it open.
Yeah,
You can crack it in half.
Jesus.
But no, like what you said about being able to take consequences, basically, what you're saying, being okay with the unknown. So like
Mm,
you left that job not knowing what was gonna happen, not knowing the next step. And most people, they so there's a quote. It's like those who do not venture out before knowing everything do not venture out at all. So if you wait until you have all your ducks in a row, and I'm not
mm,
saying be a crazy guy and like just leave your job without any solutions, but like if you really believe in yourself and you believe in what you're capable of, believe in your ability to get a job like you were, and believe in your ability to sort your finances out, sort your home situation out, like have noodles, like
mm,
you're okay with that.
yeah.
So that uncomfortable gives you freedom to make those choices,
Mm,
which is an advantage that I think you have that that someone else won't have because they'll be too like they want to plan everything and the anxiety that comes from not knowing. People really take that seriously. They really go far with that. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, all of this stuff. But here's another question then. Like we're talking about change and we're talking about how we learning to get comfortable with change and all these things. But the
mm.
question I want to ask you is that like, did you come to that decision voluntarily or did the change come out of necessity? Where you felt like I'm in a position where there's no good choices to make, or you're like I'm gonna make this change because I have no other choice, or did you sit there and think about it and plan it like I'm gonna make this change in 2 months because I think it's part of the plan, the long term plan. You know what I mean?
I wasn't surrounded by killers.
Okay,
I
go
was
on.